a brand new chat with Monica Long where she talks about crypto and regulation and how it will help banks move faster toward becoming digital. The CEO of Uphold says almost the same thing. We believe in a world with many chains. Also, I have information from Chad Steingraber that says the business and XRP are basically at a standstill right now. We're going to talk about what this all means. I also have a lot of other crypto and XRP material. How are you today, Sunday? Let's jump right in. Making RLV USD more appealing as well. I believe that institutional adoption has been a big step forward for stable coins and the digital asset market as a whole this year. And I think that legal clarity is coming from the US with the Genius Act and now the Clarity Act, which are both bills that are making their way through Congress. At that point, I think things changed a lot. That's for sure what we saw in the US market when banks talked to us about their digital asset plans. To my happy surprise, though, I've also seen a pretty big shift in momentum outside of the US. There have been a lot of talks with banks from all over Southeast Asia this week because we're in Singapore for the FinTech Festival. Everyone is really on board. Around the world, everyone is really leaning in. This is a map of countries. Cities in certain countries are all trying to be the crypto hub of the world. To do this, they'll offer tax breaks, fewer rules, and other incentives to investors, business owners, and developers who will help build the future of this technology. Everyone knows that blockchain is the way of the future when it comes to money. Who is going to get the biggest piece of the pie? That's the real prize still up for grabs. Regulation is something else that was talked about here. In this business, banks need to know what they can and can't do. They won't touch it if they don't have those rules. This is why we're still guessing that XRP will be 250 or 240. The technology isn't useful enough yet for it to be used. The reason why you should use it, right?
That time has not yet come. We'll get there soon. When? As for the Clarity Act, I don't think anyone can really tell you because Congress has to get together and figure things out. In the past few months, we've seen that these two hate each other. So when are they going to grow up and do what the American people want? Man, I don't know. Okay, after that, here you go. Hold on, we believe in a world with many chains. Hold on, is that Stephen McLaughlin as CEO? Hey, Simon McLaughlin, I'm truly sorry. On banks, why do banks hire infrastructure providers like Uphold to help them connect across blockchains without having to do all the work themselves? This is pretty juicy. We believe in a world with many chains. It's not like one chain will be the most popular. We think that one day there will be hundreds of different blockchains, each one good for a different need. So, it makes sense for a bank to connect to an infrastructure provider like Uphold since we keep all the chains up to date, which means you could give any of the chains away. Yes. Today, we offer 43 different blockchains and 9 stable coins that work on 24 different networks. And a bank needs to connect to an infrastructure service that lets them connect to different chains. This is because at its core, a bank just needs to be on a network of blockchains so it can send money to wallet addresses on almost any network. Putting those networks together in-house is not a good idea. Putting in a blockchain usually takes 2 or 3 months. Each one is written in a different language. They are set up in different ways. It's a really hard workout. This is how it works. Banks come to us and we take care of the infrastructure. They can focus on giving their customers sexy goods. To see more of this, so that's really a smart move here. You need to understand that supporting other platforms like Coinbase and similar ones is important to them because they want to be those providers for everyone. People want the technology that lets you come to our place and pay to use it. That would take years, right? Banks aren't going to go build the infrastructure that supports crypto and blockchain because it's too hard. It takes about 2 to 3 months to fully integrate one blockchain. Just think how long it would take to integrate 30 or 100 blockchains. That's not really something banks care about, right? It's best to bank with them. They're going to go with the world's Upholds, Ripples, and Coinbases because that's the easiest way to get there. Then, if any of the infrastructure breaks, the bank isn't responsible. It's up to the company that provides the equipment. Okay, so this does take some of the risk away from that bank. I believe Upholds is making a smart move here. They are going to a world with more than one chain. This is something they want to be a big part of because they know how important it will be. Okay, I admire them. Okay, here you go. Let's be real for a minute, says Chach. Chad Steingraber, it comes down to 2 choices. The price of one XRP stays the same, and all of the circulating stock is bought up by ETFs in exactly 1 year. On the other hand, the price of XRP goes up a lot, and the amount that can be bought goes down because it costs more to buy less. We win either way. It's a tie, that is, if the price goes up. He's telling us that we'll win whether the price goes up or down. A little less money would make me happy if the price dropped, right? That way I could buy more XRP. If XRP is worth $10 or $20, it will cost $20,000 or $10,000 to buy 1,000 XRP. Based on the price, I can put 10,000 XRP and buy 4,000 or 5,000 XRP right now. Could I please have a little more time? I understand that everyone already wants to visit the moon, but I'd like to make a purchase. Okay, so I asked Lexi to show me how some of this makes no sense. Says the post gives a slick explanation of how ETFs' demand and supply affect the price and quantity of XRP. The argument suggests two possible results. The first option says that if the price of XRP stays the same, ETFs might buy enough to get rid of the whole supply in 1 year. We know that there aren't many billions of XRP left on platforms to meet the demand for these ETFs. Then, this situation says that ETFs will always want to buy and that the price of supply won't change much for a year. We know that if there's going to be a lot of demand, the price will have to go up, right? Because the market cap multiplier will be bigger if you lower the amount of coins that are offered on exchanges. Here's where people will think, oh, $10 XRP, maybe I'll sell some. $20 XRP, maybe I'll sell some. It seems like everyone here has a different opinion. You might think, hey, I'm here for those $500 or $1,000 prices. That's the risk I'm ready to take. Other people aren't as dangerous as why. Those people would say, hey, $10 looks pretty good. It cost me 30 cents, but now it's worth $10. That's a 30x return. Figure it out. In other words, know that everyone here will be different. You can guess as well as I do how this will go. This means that if there is a lot of demand for XRP, there will finally be none left, which will cause a supply shock, unless new sellers come forward or the supply changes. Option 2, price goes up, purchase pace slows down. The desire for ETFs drives up the price by a huge amount. The cost of buying the same amount of XRP goes up. When the price of XRP goes up, ETFs can buy less with the same amount of cash. This slows down the rate at which the supply is used up. Existing holders will gain from this outcome because the price may go up. And the check market, which is what checkmate meant when they said either way we win, thinks that either full supply absorption or a big price increase will be good for people who own XRP. That was a pretty fun post, so make sure you're following it and feel free to chat if you want to. RizXRP is also pretty cool. Then Ripple's unique place in the crypto world. This is Brad's computer point of view. If you want to know about XRP at the start, Brad Conch is the place to go. Before I learned how to do this on my own, right? We also have some different ideas about life. But I respect the fact that Brad has been in the XRP area longer than almost everyone I know. And I really value what he says. The patents, interledger protocol, and the interledger layer protocol, ILP, make it the leader not only in crypto, but also in the banking infrastructure that uses crypto. I think the game will get really interesting in the long run when we get to Smokedog's post, because ILP lets the network talk to any protocol, no matter if it's an old protocol, an open ledger protocol, or a blockchain protocol. This gives you a lot of freedom. Then it goes on to show that it can do more than just talk to crypto networks, right? The most interesting thing about the ILP is that it will make it easy to handle payments when the sender's currency is different from the receiver's currency, or when the sender's payment network is different from the receiver's payment network. This is made possible by RippleNet's transaction and verification process. And you can see how messy this gets very quickly. But with RippleNet, the ILP and the record, they've got it all under control, right? For example, a payment can be sent using a fiat currency network like MasterCard, Visa, or a bank transfer, and the recipient will receive it on a cryptocurrency-based account, also called a wallet, that was set up within the payment system. Take note that Ripple just bought Palisade to make sure that everyone has a wallet. The Interledger Protocol, ILP, makes it possible for cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies to work together and quickly swap value. They depend on plug-in to settle over a record for digital assets like XRP or Bitcoin, as they say. But UK, and see that Ripple's XRP patented RippleNet has made it easier and cheaper for banks and other financial companies to do business across borders. By getting a patent for its technology, Ripple makes sure that it has full control over its innovative payment system. This stops competitors from using similar blockchains without permission. Someone in charge of money would see that and say, yeah, I'll use that, right? Okay, I quickly zoomed in because it was hard to see what he was reading, and I know some of you like to read it too, so I tried to make that better. Okay then. Also, breaking GDLC is important historical events. Grayscale CoinDesk Blockchain 5 ETF. Now, the US has its first crypto product with a wide range of uses. We already know that these spot single items will be very popular. Obviously, some are more well known than others. After that, you'll have these boxes. okay, a lot of the money is likely to go into the baskets. This is a mix of Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and ADA. Let me give you some more background on this. The Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF, GDLC, is what we're going to talk about today. The US has never had a crypto product with so many different types of crypto. It has Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Sol, and ADA. Tell me what this moment means for your journey in Grayscales. Yes, that's really cool. Grayscale has been in business for 12 years. We have the longest lifespan of any asset class. Every year we came up with something new, and we were the first to market with DLCs. Once more, we came up with a new idea, and we're the first to market with a product that lets investors acquire 90% of the digital assets asset class with just one click. I met Brad Garlinghouse earlier this week at Ripple Swell. He told me, wouldn't it be great